If you look at a leader, what a leader is supposed to be. A leader is supposed to take responsibility. A leader is supposed to serve others. That's the essence of a leader. Many of us, we have, unfortunately, have developed such a low standard of leadership and politics that we looked at these people as people who just seek to exploit the general public. Okay? But actually, leadership, people who take responsibility, is something that is very, very praiseworthy if you take it in the essence of how it's supposed to be performed. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he says in a hadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, the most beloved of the people to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala on the day of judgment, and the one seated closest to him Azza wa Jal, will be Imamun Adil, the just ruler. And the most hated people to Allah on the day of judgment, and the one seated furthest away from him, will be an unjust ruler. So the just ruler will be the one that's going to be the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. Because think about this, a ruler, a true leader, is continuously taking responsibility and sacrificing even their own personal needs, their own personal comforts for the sake of others. True leaders are hard to find. A person who wants a position, a person who wants authority, that's easy to find. But a person who is willing to put everything on the line for a community, for others, like as I mentioned with Malcolm X, he really put himself and his family on the line to serve his community. If we look at starting with Ar-Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Khulafa Rashidun, they put themselves on personally. Like, think about what a leader does. They sacrifice time, extra time they could be spending with their family. They could be sacrificing like their own personal wealth for the good of the community or what they want to advance, because they're in their mind, they're like, how do I protect this community from fitna, and how do I get this community closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do I do that? Salah ad-Din Ayyubi was one of the greatest leaders that this ummah has ever seen. And if you study his life, if you study his personality, if you study his personal life, not only his political life, you see that it was consistent. You see this consistency. Salah ad-Din Ayyubi could have been bribed with money. Salah ad-Din Ayyubi could have lived as a king. Salah ad-Din Ayyubi could have lived, just in his own little castle. But he gave up everything for the good of the community, and the ummah benefited for generations because of his sacrifice. The ummah benefited for generations and generations because of his sacrifice. He took his own money and he gave it as gifts to Muslims, to placate them, to make them allies, to bring the ummah together. He was generous to his enemies. He gave from his own personal wealth. He sacrificed his own time. He didn't go for Hajj, even though he badly, really wanted to go for Hajj, but he didn't because of his service to the community. And he died with not, barely enough money for his shroud, for his coffin. He died with just a few dollars. Because of, and if you think about this, subhanAllah, we remember the name of Salah ad-Din Ayyubi, and nobody during his time remembers the official Khalifa of the Muslims at that time. Nobody, barely anybody remembers, like, not to say nobody, but very few know that. But if you ask, if you talk to Muslims, non-Muslims, people remember the name of Salah ad-Din Ayyubi.
Do I feel that the New York police are providing enough protection, or do I have to have protection of my own? I look for protection from Allah.